Welcome to the Rebellion Brewing Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Barton. Today I'm talking with Paul Rogers from Beak's Chicken. Beak's is a local chicken joint doing up fried chicken, donuts, and my favorite, cornbread. You might remember having seen them at the farmers market in downtown Regina or catering special events across our province. But first, today we're drinking Huell Pilsner by Black Bridge Brewery. Paul, welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's awesome to be here. Cheers.
Cheers. Smells like a Pilsner.
Yeah. It's got all the characteristics of the Pilsner for sure.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. That's a good summer beer. Absolutely good summer beer.
Definitely for summer.
Yeah. And it's not too powerful either. It would lend itself really well to any sort of food, any summer food, barbecue food, fried chicken.
I haven't tried this one before. This is my very first attempt at tasting this. I really like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic. I love Black Bridge. They make a really good product.
My favorite of theirs is their milk stout.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I might say this could be my new
Yeah,
favorite.
this is really good.
It's nice. It's dry and a little
It's
crisp.
Yeah.
Same language. Crisp.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's exactly how I'd describe it. Light and crisp. Like I said, it's not too overpowering. It doesn't leave a too hoppy aftertaste. I think it would work really well with any sort of barbecue or chicken. I think would work great with this just because it is light.
That's kind of why I picked it. I thought it might be something that you would relate to.
No, absolutely. I'd say that's spot on. If I was trying to pair a beer with a chicken dish, say fried chicken, I say fried chicken would pair really well with this, just for the lightness of it. Sometimes fried chicken, if you eat a bunch of it, can get a little heavy, and this is something that would probably cut that really well. Salt and it would just pair really well.
It's to me, I'm experiencing a lot of that classic Pilsner hop on the front end.
Yeah,
but it's a little different on the back end.
Yeah. Like I said, it doesn't finish overly hoppy, but it starts with that real kick of hop, which is nice.
Can't describe it. Maybe like fruity.
No, I don't know if I would go any sort of.
It's not
fruity. No, it doesn't have citrus notes or a fruity note to it.
Here's the Black Bridge's description. It's 5.8% ABV.
Okay.
And it's an unfiltered hoppy craft Pilsner. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Huell is the hop varietal they use. It's supposed to offer a distinct melon aroma.
Okay.
And it's 100% German Pilsner malt for a dry, refreshing taste.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a fairly accurate description. I don't know if I'm getting the melon.
The melon, yeah. When you mentioned the melon, I don't know. Is it on the back end? I'm not really.
I don't know about the melon, but I think it's a damn good beer.
Oh, absolutely. But the description they provide is pretty spot on. I'd say that's absolutely. But the melon's a little bit of a curveball. I don't know if you have to drink more to experience the melon.
Maybe it comes out as it warms up.
Yeah.
Well, would you give it a thumbs up?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I am not disappointed by this at all.
Not at all. I'd load up on this for the summer, that's for sure. This is a great beer.
Killer. I know people could find it at places like Sobeys.
Okay.
We have it on tap at the Rebellion tap room.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited for that. We'll be able to enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll last in the tap room too long. It might be sold out by the time the podcast airs.
Probably. Like that's a perfect summer beer. I don't think you could have picked a better beer for a beautiful day.
Clayton, the brewmaster.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I said, I think this might be my new favorite.
Yeah. No, I really enjoy IPAs. For the most part, I like all beer, but for the majority of the beer that I like to drink, it's an IPA. So this one here hits everything. Beauty. I'm going to fill up a growler before I leave.
Let's talk chicken, man. Mm-hmm. So for people who don't know, what the heck is Beak's?
Well, Beak's Chicken started as a food truck. We started in 2013. I have a culinary background. I've worked in restaurants. I've spent time in the culinary industry. restaurant scenes, and I've always wanted to do a food truck, and I've always sort of tried to figure out where there's a bit of a gap in the market, where I can sort of capitalize on the market, but at the same time, what do I enjoy cooking? What's my favorite food to eat? And what do I find that the majority of people that I encounter enjoy? So naturally, I started to look at what I wanted to do, and fried chicken just kept coming up over and over again. And this was about 5 years ago when I started to do some research and decide if that's what I wanted to do. And it didn't have as much exposure as it does today. I know over the last couple of years, it's been on the top 3 food trends for the food scene. So I like to think that I was able to get in a little bit early before, fried chicken explodes. But it's one of those things that it's so universal. So many people like it. Kids come to our restaurants. They'll clean their plates. Adults, we have older folks come. We've had couples in their 70s and 80s come and just the couple sit down and have fried chicken. So it speaks to a lot of people, and we've had so much fun serving it because people smile as soon as they see fried chicken. It's just one of those things.
You've got a wide variety of kinds of fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your regional, everybody knows the Colonel.
Absolutely.
But there's also different styles of Southern. You got your Louisiana, you got your
hot
South
chicken.
Carolina. Yeah.
There's different ways. Yeah, it's spun a lot of different ways.
What do you guys do?
Well, the thing that we do is just really simple. Like, we keep it really simple. We don't mess with it too much. We take good chicken. I brine it. It's brined for 14 to 16 hours. I find that you season the meat by brining it. It also helps retain the moisture. You're replacing the moisture with seasoned liquid. So it's seasoned throughout, and then we slow cook it. It's vacuum sealed and cooked sous vide. So it's slow cooked. And for the reasons we do that is for a tender product. Also, we did it on the food truck for ease of service. It was easy to serve fried chicken fast, which a lot of people don't want to wait too long at a food truck. So it was strategic in that respect. And also, through observing fried chicken competitions and stuff, a lot of judges and stuff, when judging fried chicken, look for bite through skin. A lot of times, if you have a piece of fried chicken and the skin isn't rendered properly, you'll have that chew where it almost elasticy sort of spring back of the skin, which is not really the most appealing thing. The coating and stuff comes with it. So I wanted something where you could bite into it, thin crust, and then bite through skin, so you're not dismantling the piece of chicken you're trying to eat. So
your guys' chicken, to me, super crispy. Like, you bite into that, it's like crunch.
Yeah, I try to get it as crispy as I can. It's all in the dredge. It's one of those things. It's
what the heck's dredge?
Well, the dredge is the coating that goes on the chicken. And it's funny when you're talking fried chicken. There's a lot of people that cook fried chicken that it's a balance in the dredge. You don't want it shaggy. A shaggy dredge has lots of bits because it's dipped in buttermilk. So the drips of buttermilk get in there and they form little shaggy bits in your dredge. So you don't want it to be too shaggy. Then it's just overly heavy breading. So you want it to be more, kind of in between. It's trying to find a balance in dredge, not too shaggy. So I try to find that balance, and it's simply seasoned. It's the seasoning is very simple, and I just try to highlight the chicken as much as possible. A lot of fried chicken I've had in the past, there's a lot of places that'll do like a really heavy battering, and I try to have it more chicken than batter.
I could dig it.
Yeah.
And you guys do the waffles?
Yeah, we do chicken and waffles. We did that off our food truck. We wanted to sort of have something different than just fried chicken, and chicken and waffles is one of those things a lot of people hadn't had a chance to experience. And I enjoyed it so much that I was like, I've got to serve it at least, this season and see how it goes. And so many people enjoyed it that we haven't changed anything on our chicken and waffles since we started our food truck 5 years ago. So it's, yeah, and the waffle iron I imported it from Belgium. So I do a specific yeast-based Belgian Brussels waffle recipe, and the end result is, it's a really great waffle with great fried chicken. So I love doing it.
Where does your education come from? Like, do you have a Southern background? Would people say this is a Southern style fried chicken? Is this,
Well, yeah, I'd say I guess you could qualify it as a southern fried chicken. I don't know what you qualify as southern chicken. There's so many different versions. Influenced, yeah, you could say it's influenced. I went to culinary school in Edmonton at NAIT. They have a 2-year culinary program, which is a really exceptional program. It's one of the better ones in Canada. And I had a chance to, figure out what I wanted to do in the food industry, and spent some time overseas in Copenhagen for a little while learning food there, and decided after some experience there that I wanted to come back and just keep learning. So I kept learning, and in 2015, this was after I'd started my food truck, I kind of realized that I wanted to do a southern style fried chicken and sort of southern food. It's kind of my favorite style of food that I've gravitated towards. So went to Charleston, South Carolina, and spent some time in Husk's kitchen, Sean Brock's restaurant, and got to work with Travis Grimes, who's a renowned southern chef, the executive chef of Husk, and got to spend a lot of time shoulder to shoulder with him, learning different recipes, cornbread. The Bar Husk does a great burger there, and it's been renowned as one of the better burgers in America, and their fried chicken is well renowned too. So that was naturally gravitating towards where can I find the best influence on high quality southern food. So why not go right to the source? So
your slaw is really good. I usually hate coleslaw. Like, you just get in there and it's just a mess.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing. Coleslaw is one of those things that I find you either love it or hate it. There's people that just do not like it. They're like, oh, coleslaw, I don't like it. I've found that, I've been serving coleslaw with fried chicken for 5 years now, and I've seen just different ways to prepare it. And I find that the best way to prepare coleslaw is almost similar to how I do my chicken, as a brine. I season it, I'll shred the lettuce, or the cabbage, I'll shred it, and I'll season it with salt, sugar, and vinegar, and I'll let that sit overnight. And what it does is incorporates almost like a brine, so it seasons the cabbage before I add anything like a bit of mayo, a little bit of pepper, and that's basically it.
But you're not leaning into the mayo. It's not like dripping off.
No.
It's very complementary to the chicken.
Yeah, well, that's just, I try to, coleslaw's tricky. Coleslaw's really tricky. And I've had people judge me just on my coleslaw, which is interesting, and I'm glad I've worked at it. It's not one of those things I just throw together. I've spent time researching on how to make the perfect coleslaw, and I find that brining it just seems to season the cabbage, and then everything else sort of comes from there. It also draws out some of the liquid, so it's not too runny. So I try to drain off as much liquid of that as I can. Add mayo, just a little bit of mayo to it, and it's speaks for itself. So,
and I know I mentioned it at the top of the show. Cornbread is like my favorite. I love cornbread.
Absolutely.
I can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
It's great with beer. It's good for dessert.
Oh.
It just rounds out a meal.
Yeah, absolutely. Cornbread is, it goes so well with so much. When we served it at Husk, we'd serve it in a tiny cast iron pan, probably about a 6-inch cast iron pan, and it was cooked to order. So these cast iron pans sat in the wood burning oven, and then when we got an order, we hit it with bacon fat.
Oh,
and then
bacon fat.
Yeah, cooked in bacon fat in a cast iron pan, and the batter has Benton's bacon, which is a highly regarded bacon in the South, crushed up and put into their cornbread. And it's cooked to order, and it's, you order an entree and you have a little side of cornbread. It's fantastic. So when I came back and opened up my restaurant, I got enough experience cooking cornbread there that I was like, I've got to serve cornbread. So I serve cornbread, do cast iron pan, cook it in bacon fat. I soak my cornmeal. One of the tricks I learned there was to soak the cornmeal in buttermilk overnight, 12 to 14 hours. It softens the cornmeal. I even like to go 24 hours just to get it nice and soft. And it takes the grit out of the cornbread, and you're left with a cakier sort of product, and it finishes so much nicer.
It's super moist.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I'll just admit to it, like last Thursday I was down at your guys' restaurant, and I ordered the cornbread, and I bit into it, and it was like fresh and moist.
Yeah.
And I wasn't having that dry, and then I just take a big chunk of chicken, right?
Yeah.
It's like this is working.
I find myself eating cornbread and chunks of chicken all day. which is probably not the best thing, but I sure enjoy it. That's for sure.
And I've been chasing good cornbread for years.
Okay.
My wife, she's from the States.
Yeah.
And where I met her when we were dating, we'd go to this place called Buzzard Billy's. And they did cornbread, and they did hush puppies, and you
Beautiful.
could get gator.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
all this awesome Southern cuisine.
Yeah.
And I've just been chasing that idea of their good cornbread, their good hush puppies.
Absolutely.
And it just doesn't exist here yet. But yours, I think, is the closest thing I can get to
Wow.
it. And in my opinion, is the best cornbread you can
Awesome.
find in this city.
Awesome. Well, that's awesome to hear. I like to hear that feedback just because I put so much into the food, and you know, it's nice to hear feedback from people. I've had groups of people order food, and you know, they leave, and you know, a couple weeks later I'm thinking, I wonder if they enjoyed it. And then I have them come back and say, oh, we've been planning on coming back. We really enjoyed it. So it's nice to hear feedback like that, because I do try to put as much into my food as I can. If I put a dish on my menu, I mean it. And I'll do the research before I just throw something out there.
It's a very clarified menu. You've
Yeah,
only
it's
got
simple.
a few choices, but nothing's wasted.
No, and that's just it. I try to have my menu structured where I don't want to give people tons of choices, because as a customer, you don't want to stand there going, I don't know what to have. I like to do a simple, sweet menu and focus on doing each of those products as, you know, to the best of my ability. I try to research everything I can to have a final product that I feel is great. So I hope other people find that it's good as well. And
My mouth's watering. Well, our boys in the brewery, the brew crew, every Friday they call it Fried Chicken Friday.
It's awesome.
And they're down there.
Yeah.
And people see them by face like, hey, it's the Rebellion boys.
Absolutely.
Down at Beak's getting more chicken.
Yeah, no, we see you guys walk in the front door, and we're happy to see you guys. We know you guys are close, and sometimes for the first little while I thought, oh, maybe it's just convenient that they're coming, and then I see you more and more. I thought, okay, well, I think they really enjoy the food. That's great.
You're on to something.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, that's awesome. Yeah, no.
One thing I'd like to see is beer.
Absolutely.
What beer would you recommend with your chicken?
Well, I think that's where you guys come in. I could drink this beer. I would serve just this beer in our restaurant.
This Pilsner?
This is fantastic.
We have a Pilsner too. We have a lentil. I think the lentil.
Yeah,
would go
no,
with chicken.
your lentil beer is absolutely great. No, that's just it. You know, starting the restaurant, it was a space that was never a restaurant before. It was just an empty space. It took a lot of work. I basically built the restaurant with my brother-in-law and his construction partner. There was 3 of us that built the restaurant from the ground up. Reclaimed wood. We got 80 to 90%, literally 80 to 90% of the materials in the restaurant are from reclaimed. They're from the Restore. They're from just anywhere we could find without buying brand new. All my equipment is used. My range came from a community church hall in Forjay.
So there's a lot of rural, small town Saskatchewan in your restaurant.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of the walls could talk, and it's only been open. We've only been open about 3 months. We've got a lot of history there without even being open long.
I think you guys should be lined up down the block.
Yeah, that happened. You know, it's actually, we've had a few lineups go out the door, which is pretty cool. Pretty intimidating at the same time when there's just a couple of us in the kitchen.
Well, it happened with the food truck.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was the food truck. We would get 40, 50 people deep lineups that, you know, all you got to do is put your head down and cook until the crowd sort of, you know, you can go through the crowd of people.
I would see the lineup. I used to work right in the heart of downtown. I'd see the lineup and be like, okay, I'm just going to do a lap around the park, let it disperse a little bit, but then I get there, and then you guys would be like, wow, sorry, we sold out of everything.
I know, it's, yeah.
Damn.
That was the hard part about the food truck is we would stock up and we'd be ready for a big rush of people, and we'd get it. And then we would have the people that would come, you know, 2 hours after the rush, and they'd say, oh, what do you mean you're sold out of chicken? Well, we have one fridge and it's all we can really hold. So it was unfortunate, but now at the restaurant now we've run into less situations where we've run out of food. I've sort of learnt my lessons in the past, and we're usually pretty stocked up and ready to go.
Okay. Okay, so you got a couple months in the restaurant. You got a couple years on the truck. Mm-hmm. What's been your favorite memory so far? You know, what sticks out?
Yeah, it's hard to sort of narrow down one specific memory. I just enjoy seeing people get fried chicken for the first time from us. It's like the joy, the smile. It's like it's one of those things that's you don't really know consciously you're doing it. When you get a plate of fried chicken, you just start smiling right away. So the reaction people have is probably my biggest memory, and it's still to this day it gets me excited and keeps me wanting to cook more.
I'm going to tell you my favorite Beaks memory. I was here just a couple weeks ago with my buddy, and we sit down, and he's never been before. He's never had the Beaks experience. And I tell him, I'm like, get that jalapeno honey, put it all over your chicken. And he's like, whatever, I don't know, maybe I'll try a little bit. And I just drench my chicken, just cover it in this jalapeno honey.
Yep, me too.
And he just puts a little dab, and his first piece, he dips it, takes a little bite, and he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, fine, whatever, your loss.
Yeah.
But by the second piece, he's just covered his chicken in this jalapeno.
Yeah, that's one thing when I was down south that not a lot of people do it. Not a lot of places do it. I don't even know if it's like a traditional thing that they do, but I loved it so much. I'm like, I've got to serve honey with my fried chicken, and jalapeno honey just came as, I love spicy things, and a spicy honey on top of the salty and spicy sort of and sweet go really well together. So yeah, I serve it, and a lot of people like it. I've had people request that I jar it, and if I started jarring it, they'd buy it. And I've talked about doing a spicier one as well, and I'm hoping at one point I can maybe do a ghost pepper one, or a habanero one even, spice it up a little bit more. But yeah, that's a really popular condiment, I guess. I recommend it when people order the fried chicken. Even my wife recommends it. Try it with the spicy jalapeno honey.
It's not that aggressive. Yours is really nicely balanced. It complements the flavors, the salt and the sweet together with that nice heat.
Yeah, it starts off really sweet, and it catches people off guard because they're like, oh, it's like honey. Oh, wait, no, there it is. Oh, it's spicy. Yeah, it kind of creeps up on you, and yeah, that's what I like about it, is that it's got that creeper heat to it.
Creeper heat?
Yeah, that creeper heat to it that sneaks up on you. Yeah, I enjoy it with fried chicken, and I know that a lot of people, they ask for it, and if they take chicken to go and stuff, they ask for a little side of the jalapeno honey, which I'm all for.
If you do a hot honey release, I would love to come down here and have you set up like a Reaper honey, habanero honey, and we just have people go down the line till it's the hottest they can stand.
Yeah.
And we could pair it with a beer.
Oh, that'd be
and
perfect.
Have each beer along the way with each hot.
Yeah, no, that sounds super cool. I'd be in for that too. That'd be a real cool thing to do.
They'd be sweating.
Yeah.
We just kill them.
Oh yeah. Well, that's just it. I'd like to get a ghost pepper. Get the hottest pepper. According to the Scoville charts, the hottest pepper right now, and I'll turn that into a honey.
You'd have to go talk to Smokin' Ed from Puckerbutt.
Okay.
He has a new pepper called Pepper X.
Oh, okay.
And it's the grandchild of his Reaper pepper, which is one of his hottest peppers of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's...
I'm not even sure it's edible.
Yeah, well, that's just it. You almost get to a certain point in the heat level where it's like, you can't taste anything. It's just straight heat. It's straight heat. Yeah, it's just mean. Just singes the palate.
Well, maybe the honey is something that would be able to nicely balance it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That creeper effect where it's, catches you off guard and balances it out maybe nice enough that you'd be able to tolerate it. We'll have to have a challenge or something.
So what's coming up next for Beaks?
We've been going at it now for a few months, and it's just progressively week by week getting busier and busier, and I'm just focused on keeping along the same track that I'm going on. Things have been going well. We've had a good response from the public, and I'm hoping another location at some point would be ideal, maybe in another part of the city to reach a broader audience. But for now, we're close to downtown. We're having fun. People are really enjoying it, and we're just going to push through the summer and have fun with it.
It's like a 2-minute walk from downtown.
Yeah,
it's not hard to find.
With other restaurants coming to 11th Avenue, it's a bit of a food destination place in the city. So yeah, it's nice to be a part of it and to be so close to other restaurants trying to do really good food. So
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting.
Well, Paul, I want to thank you for coming out. I can't wait to come back next Friday and get some more Beak's chicken.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate your time.
Hey, Rebels, thanks for tuning in this week. I hope you'll take the time to check out Beak's Chicken, see what the fuss is all about, see why I'm so excited about everything they're doing, especially the cornbread and that habanero honey. If you want to find more about the latest news on Rebellion Brewing, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Untapped. Thank you for joining the Rebellion.
Oh, come on, man, pick up your pieces.